Hey, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. It's Andrew, and as promised, I've brought you guys along to my drone mission work for the day. I actually just completed my first mission. It was about 1 acre. It was a medium-sized hotel on the west side of Houston, and I really didn't have much time to get that one filmed. Even though it was a pretty cool experience, not really friendly for manual flying. There's a lot of HVAC units that were in tight spaces, cubby holes, up against walls. So I did the best I could with what I had, and hopefully the client's pleased with it. I think a drone is really the best option for them as far as getting up on a rooftop in these small spaces, but it's a little bit hard to gather all the data that they want from the HVAC units. So I had to put in my best effort, and I already let the client know the situation, and they tend to be all right with it. You know, safety is our priority. So as far as that goes, we're going to move on to the next site, and that one's back closer to my house on the southeast side of Houston. I'm going to head out there. There's going to be a lot more manual flying at that one, but it's only 9:30. I got out here about 8 o'clock, and it took me some time. I had to update the drones. Someone called the police on me. Can you believe that? Someone called the police on me. So the police officer comes driving up, and I already saw him coming, so I parked the drone, and he rolls down the window, and he just sees me with my vest on and everything, and he just goes, "You're working, huh?" "Yes, sir, I'm working." And he said, "Well, somebody called the police out here, said there's a guy in a truck with a vest flying a drone," and he's just like, so I had to come check it out, whatever, but he's like, "I see you're working," so obviously no trouble going on here. You know, have a good day, take care, bye. But man, that's a first. I've only been doing this maybe a few months now, and yeah, that's a first. So, you know, it's a new technology. People see it, especially with things going on, drones in the news. People get a little worried, and I don't blame them. But, you know, it's the future of technology, and it's just one of those things that's going to happen until everybody kind of gets used to it. So with that being said, I'm going to hop on the road. Catch y'all back on the southeast side, and capture some footage of what I'm really doing and show you how it goes. See you there. All right, y'all, I'm back. It's actually a few days later from when I did that first mission, but out here at the second site, and I'll explain to y'all later about why it took 3 days to get out here and do this. But I'm over here close to an airport, so just got to be a little cautious, but other than that, it's going to be pretty easy. Got about 30 or so AC units on the top I got to get pictures of, and just got to grab some data from the rooftops and pavement, and I'll be done for the day. First things first, let's open up the box, and I need to get the controller out and going. There we go. Get that up and going so that I can show you how I set up the flight plan. All right, so now I'm gonna take the drone up a little bit and just see how high up these roofs are. And from there, I'm just gonna add about 50 feet, and that'll be where I start my full aerial mission. This one looks to be, the highest point is has 36 feet. Let's go back out. And this one is about 35 feet. Okay, so about 80 some odd feet is what I will be using for my full aerial. And now, since that is set up, all I need to do is start pre-flight checklist. And start the flight. There he goes, all by himself. So with the drone on its automated mission, I'll go ahead and tell y'all what happened, why I had to wait 3 days to do this mission. Basically, I didn't do my due diligence, and the location I'm in required like approval from the FAA. Usually, if you're in an airspace, sometimes you can get automatic approval, but in this case here, this is actually basically a no-fly zone, so I had to send in for like a manual review, and that usually has to be done 3 or more days prior to when you're going to fly. They have some other activities going on like Coast Guard, Army, Air Force, that sort of stuff. So just have to be cautious, make sure there's no really, really low helicopters or airplanes or jets flying around. But I think at 85, 90 feet, we'll be all right. There you go. These airplanes are not super low, but they're pretty low. And one neat thing about this drone and this process, it does have a sensor on it for the ADS-B out on airplanes and helicopters. So when they do come by, a little warning will pop up telling me that there are some aircraft nearby. There goes another one. All right, our flight is done for the full aerial view. Now we need to set up the flight plans for the roof, and all that is basically bringing in the boundaries a little bit and setting the altitude a little bit lower. All right, new flight plans ready to go. Turn this guy on. Booting up. All right, we started the rooftop flight. All right, I just finished up the last flight, and I didn't videotape it. The manual flying takes a little bit more time and is a little bit more, requires my attention more, so I didn't really have the time to film any of that. But I hope you guys enjoyed seeing some of the autonomous flight planning with the Drone Deploy app, and how I use that to capture the imagery for the rooftops and the pavement and the whole property. So hopefully I'll have this all submitted to the client today and hopefully get paid in the next couple of days for it. I got paid yesterday for the job I did at the hotel, so everything went great with that. And along the way, I've just learned a couple of things and a couple of instances. One, I had the police officer show up on me at the first job site. Not an issue, it happens. And out here, waiting the 3 days for the FAA approval to do this job. So that was kind of a hiccup, but I communicated well with the client, and they were been pleased with my attention to all the details. So with that being said, I gotta head back to the house, pack up, heading back to West Texas for work next week. I want to appreciate you guys for coming along, liking, commenting, and subscribing to the channel. And if you like this type of content, make sure to tell me down the bottom. Tell me what you like, don't like, what you'd like to see more of, and I'll try to work that out for you guys. But in the meantime, take care. God bless.